Paul woke up from unconsciousness only to realize he'd been buried alive inside a coffin. He worked as a truck driver for an American company in Iraq, but he had no idea where he was buried or who had put him there. Then he noticed a cell phone beside him and frantically called the police. The officers kept asking endless questions, and in his panic Paul finally snapped, shouting at them that they had no idea what he was going through. After a long struggle, he managed to get through to the FBI. He explained his situation, but the weak signal cut the call short. Overwhelmed by fear, Paul lost control again, thrashing around in the coffin, desperately trying to break free. After a fit of hysteria, he gradually calmed down. Checking his phone, he saw a missed call. Something told him that number was connected to what had happened. Sure enough, when he called back, the person on the other end admitted to burying him and revealed the phone had been left there on purpose. They demanded Paul convince his government to pay a $5 million ransom by 9 p.m. or he would suffocate underground. It all clicked. He'd been kidnapped by terrorists, and he was nothing more than their bargaining chip. Realizing the police couldn't really help him, Paul reached out to a friend who gave him the number for the State Department. Once connected, he urgently repeated his ordeal and shared details about where and when his convoy had been attacked, hoping they'd agree to pay the ransom and rescue him. But the moment he mentioned the $5 million, they started dodging responsibility. That pushed Paul over the edge. Furious, he threatened to expose everything to the media, knowing the government cared more about its reputation than about saving one man. Only then did they start to take him seriously. They told him not to contact the press and gave him the direct line of Dan, a hostage rescue specialist from a team created for exactly these situations. Paul called Dan and once again laid out his desperate situation. But before long, the terrorists rang again. Paul told them the government had refused to pay the $5 million and pleaded for his life. They ordered him to record a hostage video with lines written on a paper inside a bag near his feet. If he did that, they said they'd lower the ransom to just $1 million. Hanging up, Paul strained with every ounce of strength, scraping his head bloody as he reached for the bag. Inside, he found 2 glow sticks, a faulty flashlight, a small knife, and the script for the video. Another source of light gave him a small sliver of hope. Instead of filming right away, he called the rescue team again. They told him they were working as hard as possible to trace his location and begged him not to make the video. If he complied with the terrorists, the case would explode into an international crisis, making a successful rescue nearly impossible. Paul already suspected his life meant less than politics and reputation, but hearing it confirmed left him cold. Still, the team reassured him, saying just 3 weeks earlier they had managed to save a young medical student in a similar situation. They urged him to keep believing. Just as Paul began to feel the faint spark of hope, his phone rang again, its sharp tone shattering the silence of the coffin.